Hi everyone, thanks for joining today's call. Our first agenda item is to talk about the retrospective review for the current spring tickets to identify areas that we have done right and then areas that we could have done better. Simon, do you have any? Simon?
Hello.
Oh, hi, Vitalis, thanks for joining today's call. So we just started our first agenda item for the retrospective review for the current spring. First question is what we have done right, and then the second question is what we could have done better. So this is open up for anyone to share if they have any feedback in terms of the current spring retrospective review. So I can say that that's one thing I made a mistake when I started Sprint 2 weeks ago. I accidentally put 3 weeks in there, but 2 weeks, and that's why it's still showing. Still have a few days remaining. Actually, it's 2 days. It's the last day. So I'll be careful next time. In terms of other things that I think we have done right is I think Ruth, Robai, and Sam has been, and also Derek, had helped to push the device management ticket and also other tickets for device management that to move forward. And also I appreciate for the demo to identify the areas that might need to have enhancement or improvement, things like that. I think that's also really helpful. So I'm thinking that maybe for moving forward, for tickets that is under like a significant program or a project, I think we should have like either like a work in progress demo or like a wrap up demo so that it would be more clear for everyone. Anyone else have feedback in terms of retrospective review?
Yeah, I just want to say, I think looking at the current sprint and the previous sprints, I think in this sprint, we are picking up pace. So it's something I just want to point out, and hopefully moving forward, now that Sam is joining the team, then we probably are going to see more activity in the next sprints.
Yeah, great. Okay. Anyone else? If not, we'll move to the next agenda item, which is the ticket grooming. The first one is the magnesium sulfate app. Simon, do you mind just to give like an overview what this ticket is about, and so that everyone knows what that is?
Yeah. So this is an application that would be used as a guide for magnesium sulfate dilution. And we are developing it based on some requirements that were specified in the attachments. So we have some algorithm that we are implementing to develop this tool that will be used by providers while they are using magnesium sulfate. So the application is going to be cross-platform, meaning that we intend to have it run on Android, iOS, and Windows platforms. Yeah, so it's already in progress, and currently I'm doing the final tweaking of the UI. Yeah.
Awesome. So this is great. So this app is to help the to improve the to reduce the maternal mortality and also disability by providing the guideline on using the magnesium sulfate. So we're very excited. So the story point 13 points still correct, or it needs to be changed, Simon?
Well, I think that 13 is fine.
Okay. Good. So I don't see, is Sam on? I don't see him on yet. Because the other tickets are more relevant to him in terms of like for assigning points for the device management and security app. So I'm going to skip those for now and move to the non-device management ticket. Okay, so the next one is we have 4 tickets that for this data collection tool. It is for a pilot study in Northwest Ethiopia. The first form is the baseline evaluation form, and we haven't finished all the concept mapping as we are waiting for some clarification from the requester. However, most of the most of the concepts are already mapped, except like I think we still probably have 1/3 of the work left on all these 4 forms. And Simon, I just want to get a sense, like in terms of the story point, how many points do you think for the evaluation based on evaluation form?
So, is this the first set?
Yeah, the
The
first
like?
one. Yeah, the first one, the baseline.
Um,
I can open it. Hold on. Let me stop sharing here and then. So this is the first form, the beta evaluation form, pretty much to collect the the HIV medical history and then also treatment and lab, and then some other prophylaxis information and uh, signs and symptoms and things like that. It's pretty generic. So how many points do you think this form might worth? 7?
I think 8.
8? Okay. Okay. So the next one is the lab investigation form, also for the same pilot study. They let me see if you can see my form here. Okay, so I need to redo it. So another one is just pretty much all lab tests. This is also for the baseline 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months visits, and also like some sample storage and things like that. So how many points do you think that might be? 7?
5.
5? Okay. I think the last one is very short form, is the outcome form. Just like a handful of questions. So let me just open that. It's just a handful of questions.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's give it 3.
3. And then the last one is actually the first part on the baseline form, which is going to be like a separate like registration form because of our workflow. So how many points for the registration form, Simon? It's just like the IDs and all those things.
So does it have any new fields apart from the registration form that we use? I think is
It's
there
I think the only thing is the for example, like the occupation literacy level, and we can decide to store those as attribute, person attribute type, or we can store them as the observations.
Mhm.
So if we store those as attribution types, I think that would be minimal work. But if we store those as observation, I think that would, or maybe we can move those as under the baseline form, so that's less complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, tentatively I can say because I think there are 2 parts to this. There's the form, and then there's the server-side handler, which would require some changes to make it process the form. So I think 8 points would be good for both. That is for working on the form and also updating the server-side handler.
So would that be minimal work? For example, I want to make it minimal. So we can collect, for example, from here to here, just like a very simple registration form.
Okay.
And then we can move this. We can move like these 2 questions into like observations. Since they can store as observations, we can move it under the baseline form, or we can just create a new person attribute type to handle those. So all this can be still like the same way that that we collected without making changes of the handler on the server side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, I think we can give it 5 points.
Okay. I just want to make it like minimal.
Okay.
Okay. So just not trying that. So those are what I would like to do in terms of ticket grooming for today, except the device management ones that we cannot do since Sam is not on. However, since we have plenty of time, I would like to get like implementation updates from CDM team, Lawrence. How's the CDM Health Center form and dispensary form rollout plan go?
I think for the rollout, we plan to begin with the clinical officers who are attached to OMPAS, and the first sites are going to be Ziwa, Mosoriot, Tarbo, and parts of Trans-Nzoia. And I think that will probably effectively start off from next week. I might get time to be out there just to see them off.
Do you guys know, like, have a sense, like, in terms of the client volume, how many people you guys want to reach?
So what we did, I created a small template that we're going to use for the rollout plan of the health center form. And we have a column where we're going to capture like how many forms are being submitted by a specific provider. So we're going to have that schedule drop down records of each facility that has a clinic on a particular date, and how many patients were seen and how many forms have come into MRS. So I think we'll probably review that in a week's time and see what the flow is. But, yes.
Yeah, great. So I suggested I suggest Kenneth to make sure that to create like a data management plan to monitor the data activities, so that it will be really helpful to identify any potential issues in case the volume is very low or some missing data or questionable data, things like that. So it will be very helpful to identify early, and then to see if it is a programmatic uh, issues that we can have a programmatic way to fix it, or it is more like implementation issue that it needs to be addressed early on as well. So it would be great if he can develop, if he can be developed, we'll be happy to take a look and provide feedback.
Yeah, sure, I think he's going to work on that.
Awesome, thanks. Thanks, Lawrence. Is there other things that you would like to share with us?
And nothing major, just the same clinician I mentioned on the other call. I know I've missed out on a couple of calls. They were able to send in their device from Kisumu, and it got here. We were able to sync the data straight away. So I tend to believe it's a network issue that's done at Kisumu. But handing it back, I think I'll have to go down and just see like what the real challenges she has on the ground.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Lawrence.
Okay.
Have you tell us, can you share the updates in terms of the big testing? And I know that you guys did one round from the site last week, and then you guys plan to have two more this week.
Was that for me, Ada?
No, that's for Vitalis.
Okay.
Vitalis, in case you're talking, you're on mute.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Vitalis.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi. Sorry, I was trying to I think my device hung, but I can see it now on. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thanks. Just wonder if
Yeah.
you can
So
give
thank
like
you.
an update from Backpick side.
Yeah. I think the email that we shared with you, Eda, we agreed that we are going to finalize all the details by Friday, and we would wish that all the details. Tomorrow we are going to the field and we'll continue the testings. This should be part of the pilot for BitPick. So by Friday we should be through with all the updates. Meanwhile, we noted to make some changes in the social network costing questionnaire, and we need to create some. There's a question that asks for the number of patients. I mean, it gives like you have to give the names of the patients to a maximum of 5. So we needed a change in that, in a way that if you don't have any person, responding to this or that you talk to concerning the question, then the form should be in a position to cater for that. So in our discussion with Savai, it seems like we have to create new concepts for this.
Yeah, so maybe like how many persons that related to this part of the questionnaire. If it's like say 3, is to generate the same repeated table like 3 times, but it should not be no more than 5. Is that correct?
Yeah, it should not be more than 5. And also for the other sections of the section D, E, and F, should not be more than 7. However, we need to, I mean, it should accommodate for
Mm-hmm.
0 people. If you don't have somebody
So yeah,
that you
so
want
maybe
to,
yeah, maybe we can have a question for each session saying that how many persons that you're going to share information to address these session questions, and then the number could
yeah,
be,
sure,
depends on the session specifications, and it could be up to 5 or up to 7, and then when
yeah,
that value is input, and then it would prompt, you know, um, 3 times, 5 times, depends on the respondents' answers. Is that what it
sure,
is? Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we have also updated this in the tracker that
Mm-hmm.
we are updating. So would wish that I think the best approach is to create new concept. I don't know what's your take, Eda.
Yeah, I think I can create a new concept to ask how many persons relevant to these questions, something like that. And then we can add it
Yeah,
as a concept member for the set for each session. And
yes,
then for the programming side, and then Simon would need to add some JavaScript conditions that if the answer is, this number cannot, it has to be between, 0 and the maximum either 5 or 7, depends on the section specifications, and then it will prompt the subsessions, sub questions, how many times.
okay.
Would that be
So
reasonable?
maybe, sorry,
Yeah, would that be reasonable?
yeah, that's quite reasonable. I think maybe the other thing is to also include the concepts for don't know and refuse. And I think I need to send you an updated
Yes.
version of the questionnaire that
Hmm.
I have managed to
Yes.
update.
Yeah. If you can move those to the end of each questions, each answers,
Yeah,
that would be really helpful. And then you can also update that, the new concept that we just talked about, the number of respondents for each sessions, for the updated form key, if you can add that, just different color highlighted, and then it will be easier for Simon to refer to when he make the changes.
I thought you said you are going to create a new concept. Sorry.
So no, so on your form key, you can just create a new question
Yeah.
to ask about the number of respondents for each sessions, and I will create concept and update the key.
Oh, sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I can do
And then
that.
that way, I think it's more organized, and then we want to make sure that because this is like come from your team, and then so that the wording is exactly correct to meet you guys' expectation.
Yeah, yeah, we'll have to share with the team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you can add the question to each session, and then also those don't know and refuse to the right spot on each of the answers options at the end, and then and send it over, and I will just update for the missing concept and create it, and then we'll forward to Simon, so that we're not
Okay,
burdening Simon until like we are ready.
sure.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So we'll
So,
we'll, we'll we'll wait for your updated form, and then I would create new concept, and then I'll forward to Simon. And then the next thing is we'll wait for you guys final feedback after this Tuesday and Thursday testing, probably next Friday.
yeah, the next, we have the 2 day in the field, that is
Hmm.
tomorrow and then Friday.
Awesome. I think that's really helpful to have the pilot testing, and then so that make sure that it works exactly what you guys need.
Yeah, but I think maybe on my side, I would have wished that maybe some of the issues would have been handled, but from your response and also the response from my team members, they felt like you people felt like we should just have everything by Friday.
Hmm.
But from
Hmm.
my side, I wish that we could handle maybe the major issues, maybe like this one, because um, as sometimes we meet old people who cannot remember the
Mm-hmm.
people, or maybe they don't have. So
Yeah,
like
so we
just
try to, so like we feel like the best way to handle like all these forms and then changes and feedbacks is to have all these feedbacks as one time as a batch, instead of like small pieces, because if it's small pieces, it will create so much work and confusion for everyone, and then it would actually end up delaying the whole process. So I think like if you
yeah.
guys can push on your side to get all your feedback by next Friday, and then we'll review
Mhm.
from our side to make sure that those make sense before we even like start working on it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that would be more efficient because it's really hard for our developer, to work on it, just fix three things and then wait, and then they talk about another five things and then go back, because the thought process there, the thought process there is still, it needs the investment on the thought process. Always go back to the same stage. So I think it's easier for you guys to consolidate all this feedback at one time and then just handle it, you know, after clarification and then start. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, the same thing I would suggest for your team to come up with the data management plan, and we'll be happy to, if you share with us, we'll be happy to review and provide feedback. So to make sure that you guys, collecting the required information and then there's no surprises.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Yeah. I think maybe we'll have to. I'll bring that during uh, data call meeting,
Uh-huh.
and then maybe we can share with you something.
Yeah, we'll be happy to take a look or provide some feedback. That would be just like easier for your job actually, especially at the end of the study or something like that, so that you have less work.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vitalis.
And another issue that I was concerned about is the way we submit the forms,
Uh-huh.
both the costing questionnaire and the social network.
Uh-huh.
I found out that it is possible to delete. It is possible to delete a registration form,
What's the
and I thought,
what's the concern? Delete the registration form for what?
like, if you're using the device and somehow you just want to uh, delete the registration form and then remain with the costing or maybe the other encounter forms. So like that is possible. That is possible, and you can't follow any protocol to
So
do
the
that.
registration form, once is saved as complete form data, is not able to delete. The reason is that it's likely that to have corresponding non-registration encounter information and observation collected. If that is deleted, it's going to create programmatic problem that you might have often encounter observation without the registration record.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason behind that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Then that's okay. So maybe we'll just have to train our people so that they're careful on that.
Yeah, for example, if you guys like create a bunch of test data and all those things, just collect all those informations and then go, like for example, let's say doing your testing, you can keep a list of new client information for your
Sorry.
testers to create a registration form and also record. Once those things back to the server, you can go back to the server and mark those as like a test and fake patient, so that on the query it's just easier for you to screen out those people.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the best way to do.
All right.
Mhm.
I think that's all for me today.
Sure. Thanks, Vitalis. Thanks for asking that. I think that's helpful. That we clarify that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ella.
Sure. Yeah, just feel free to ping us or like send us over the data management plan or any questions, and we'll be happy to help. I think it's really helpful to get those clarified and fixed before the rollouts, and then everyone is happy, at the end of the program of the study.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I know that it's a little bit like a lot of work at the beginning, but it's all worth it.
Sabai saying anything?
Simon?
No. Literally, I'm just listening to the conversation.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, guys. So those are on my agenda item. Is there other thing that anyone want to discuss or update or to share?
Edda, there was that issue where we still have some forms not showing up on the error UI. And I think that from the updates we got from Tor was that I think they agreed with Savai to probably have a ticket and just have check that.
So you guys have more payload end up in the error queue?
Yes.
So are they unusual? What type of error do you know?
Sorry, I'm not been able to. My connection through the LAN is not as good, so I cannot do a direct query to the backend. But maybe I can ask Tor to share like the kind of errors we get into the payloads.
Yeah, if you see any unusual one, and then we'll we would like to know so that if there's any programmatic fix, we'll try to avoid that.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think there's one I remember that was raised is that whenever you are trying to process a registration and it finds a duplicate or what it thinks is a duplicate, then that would go to the error queue. And so what I talked to Tor last week, and he mentioned that some of those he may want to process them anyway, because when he goes ahead to check, he finds maybe they are kind of duplicates because of some similarities, but they're not really duplicates. So in that case, then the processor will not continue to register. I mean, to process that form, whether they want to have it processed or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think there was need to for a user to review the registration and say just process anyway or process and merge with the existing record. So what they have to do currently is to register manually and then go back to delete that registration error from the error queue. And that again introduces another complexity whereby if you register a patient separately, that is using the OpenMRS process, then for any encounter forms on the error queue that were dependent on that patient, it means you'll have to go to the database, pull the patient UID, the person UID, and put it into the payload on the error queue for it to process. And some of the users do not have access to the database, and therefore they cannot go to pull that person UID.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I think those are two things. One is to be able to process a registration even though it was flagged as duplicate, and two, through the UI to be able to assign to say that this encounter should be for this person without having to go to the database to pull the person UID. I think those are the two things I can remember.
But shouldn't, like, for example, is it because like once we merge with a new, let's say that they create a new patient record on the web app, it will assign a new person UUID, and then because the piece of information is not available for the non-corresponding non-registration payload, that's why the user need to go back to upload that piece of information in the payload in order to so that they know that it's actually belong to the new record. Is it the reason, Simon?
Yes.
Okay, so I think for this one, I think we need to a little bit workflow and UI discussions in terms of the design. Yeah, because I just want to make sure that what we come up with actually solving the problem, but and also at the same time not creating new problems. So let me. I will put on my notes, and then I think maybe we can maybe on Friday call we can talk about what would be the right workflow, and then not introducing any new issues.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah, so I think yeah, this is very important for data managers. I think if we are discussing it on Friday, I think they should be available at least to be able to share the experience or their problems while dealing those.
Yeah, so Vitalis, Lawrence, and do you think you guys and also your data manager will be able to join this Friday call? I hope that it makes sense for you what we talk about, because I think this is actually we want to come up with a solution to help to make your job easier.
I think I'll pass my laptop.
Okay. Also, make sure you join it.
Yeah, it is very relevant for Kenneth because a lot of that information came from him, from CDM.
So Vitalis, do you think you may be able to join this Friday call at 2 p.m.? I think he's on mute. So
yeah, maybe we can communicate.
Hello, Ida.
yes, Vitalis.
Yeah, Friday, I'm sure we'll be going to the field, so I'll not be in a position to join the call.
Oh, you'll be on the field?
I'm afraid. Yeah, I will.
How about next Monday then? How about I just send an email to How about I just send an email to you guys and then just finalize when we can discuss this?
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think you can just do a mail and also request them to send any other issues that they face so that we can have all issues related to data management discussed in that forum. And then
Totally
you can
agree.
set a date for it.
I totally agree. Okay, well,
Yeah, okay with me. But I'll also try as much as possible to join maybe from the field.
okay.
So I think I'll try as much as possible to join, though maybe the issues about network and power will interrupt my connection, but I'll try as much as possible.
Sounds good. Okay,
But it's okay.
I will have an email to ask you guys for that. So does that okay, thanks for muting. So I think that's all for today's call, and thank you everyone. Just a quick reminder, and I need feedback from all of you from the device management security demo from last Friday. I sent you guys a separate email on the feedback that Martin and I have on the Google Doc. And if you can get a chance, please look through and to see if any other suggestions or issues that you have you would like to include, and then please update on that by tomorrow so that Sam and I can go through them later this week and then to come up with the ticket. Thanks everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
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 Thank you.